In Australia, Ironman racing has a long and proud history. But the best is yet to come, as we now take a look at some of the class of the coming summer for 2011 and 2012. Last year he was a legend, and it rekindled a flame for Phil Clayton that sees him back in amongst the elite Ironmen and hoping to extend his life as a legend.
Oh, I wouldn't call it a comeback. I got a beautiful son named Jet, and he said to me about a year ago, he said he'd love to see me racing around with his hero, and his hero turns out to be Kai Hurst. So I'd been out of the sport for some time. I do it recreationally and for fun, and I sat down with him and said if he's really keen and he wants me to train hard for it, I'd be happy to run around one more time for him so that he can watch his dad race his hero.
For Phil, taking part in the qualification trials at Noosa evoked memories of his biggest career highlight.
Winning the World Ironman title, by far. I joined Surfers Paradise Surf Club with a group of mates, and it had never been out of Surfers Paradise Surf Club. And I had Trevor Hendy handling for me on the day, and Shannon, I think, was in the race also with me. He was only a young kid, and went through, and I got up and had a win, and it was fantastic. That was probably the highlight race of my life. For me to be able to show my son that I can actually mix it up with the guys. I'm not expecting wonderful, great heights and outstanding races, but if we get surf, you never know. But basically I'm going in this to have a great time and enjoy the moment rather than it being a job or something that I have to do to get by. I'm here to have fun and show my son that I can do what he loves.
Ironman trial winner Kendrick Louis has come back to the series after a break.
When I was actually younger, I can't remember it, but my parents said I was scared of the water and hated the surf, so I'd sit on the sand all the time. Then my dad taught me how to surf, and I just sort of never looked back. I eventually, got a spot on the series one year and did the trial, and I didn't think anything of it, and ended up qualifying. Had a bit of fun on the series, and didn't go too well. Came back the next year with a bit of confidence from that, and I think I probably might have had a bit too much confidence, and went into it looking good, and then came out not so good. The following year I had that year off, and watching the other guys run around in the series, it just looked unreal. It looked fun. They were racing hard, it looked fast, and I just wanted to be a part of it. Everyone in that series is going to be, fighting for those positions, and it's going to come down to, who's done the most work, and you've got to get out there and have that mongrel attitude, which, a lot of people do have, to give it to them and just try and knock them off.
Corey Hill is another competitor who's come back to the series through the Noosa qualifying trials after a season off.
Well, 2 seasons ago, I guess, I made the series, and it was my first time in the series. I enjoyed myself. I wasn't expecting anything too much. I think a couple of the guys that we ended up making it with, we were sort of joking each time, saying it would just be good to not come last. And then I guess last season I felt as though I got a lot better, and went to Tugun very confident. Had 2 seconds on the Saturday, which I thought I should be going quite well the next day, and just with the surf I ended up falling off my ski and just had a really shocking race. For myself to step up in the Kellogg series, I believe that I'll need to improve my swimming. I get to the pool a fair bit, but I think I am getting to be a lot better, I guess, at the swim leg, but it's still something that mentally I've got to work on. I've got to teach myself that just because you don't quite enjoy it doesn't mean that you can't do it, I guess, yeah.
Heralded as one of the stars of tomorrow, Mitch Miller is one of the youngest men to make it into the top 10 after an impressive debut in this year's Coolangatta Gold.
After doing the gold, I think it's really, the training has really opened my eyes up to what I can do in the series. I think the gold's really given me a good base, and now I can build on that. So I think if you have your own mindset on what you want to achieve and what you can achieve in a realistic frame, I think you can do it. And this year I'd really like to get top 5 and really stand up and put my foot in the door, and I think I'm capable of winning either an endurance, an eliminator or a triple sprint. At the end of the day, I'm there to win. I'm not putting my foot on the line to come second, and
You got to beat the best to be the best. So you can't sit there behind them all the way, and you got to get up the front and give them a run for their money.
One of the more experienced competitors is Wes Berg.
I'm 32 now. This will be my 15th year racing professionally as an Ironman. I hold these guys that I race against as some of the fittest men in the world.
A top-level competitor on the board, Wes trained during the winter in the 52-kilometre Molokai board race in Hawaii, taking out 5th place.
Around the world, especially in Hawaii after doing the Molokai paddle, those people hold what we do in very high regard. The biggest part about Molokai was getting to Molokai. I prepared really well for it. I swim trained really hard, I ran, I paddled a lot, I was very strong, very fit. I got there and a lot of things went wrong for me from when I got there, from boards de-lambing, boats breaking down, jet skis breaking down, not having any fuel during the race. So it was frustrating, disappointing. So when I got home, it was a little bit hard to get straight back in, but I started off basically back in the routine of my gym work and then slowly swimming. But I got injured for about 3 weeks with my neck. I hurt my neck pretty bad, which was kind of a repercussion of doing the Molokai race and always being in that board paddling position. I'm a little bit older, a little bit smarter, a little bit wiser, and I've got that base from the Molokai. So, when it comes time to sharpen the tools, so to speak, I'll be ready.
The Steel City of Wollongong has produced some great Ironmen over the years, including Phil Clayton, brothers Darren and Dean Mercer, and this year is represented by Ali Day.
My dream when I was younger was to firstly just to get the name, a pair of swimmers with my name on the back of them. That's always been my dream, just to get that. To wear this singlet across my chest is that was always a big dream, and I still pinch myself every day to tell myself I'm still in this. I do get a thrill with seeing friends win and stuff like that. Close mate Matt Poole, when he won at Bondi last year, I was probably more excited than he was.
Ali Day is a fun-loving young man who enjoys all aspects of this sport and has attracted a lot of fans to the Ironman series.
Having a fan club down the beach and on the Facebook and stuff like that is the best feeling in the world. Turning up to a race and knowing that they're supporting you, I'm truly blessed to have all those people behind me, all those little kids. It's the best feeling.
And Ali is one athlete that all the girls just love.
The girls, I don't think is I don't know. I don't think that's really. I don't go really well in that department. So.
Also coming from Wollongong, Reece Drury won the 2007 Coolangatta Gold and has always been a great performer on the ski.
Last summer was a good year. Like, obviously I was stoked to make the top 10 and qualify again for this year. I had some good races and then I had some not so good races. I lacked a little bit in consistency, and yeah, I think I've learned from that. I'm very busy with family life. I've got the 2 kids, and so I'm lucky enough that I can go to training, do my training, concentrate on what I've got to do. But at the end of the day, I can come home and be with my wife and family, and I think that helps me. I'm not just sitting there, living for the next training session. I think I've got a really good balance in my life at the moment. I'd love to win a race. I really dearly would love to win one more race. And then the ball's in my court. Do I go around another year? I don't know, but I'd like to be left with that decision. I'd like to go out on my own terms. If I get a little bit of luck here and there, I'm feeling good on the day, who knows, hopefully the old bloke can win one.
A dark horse for the Ironman title this year is the ever-consistent Hugh Doherty.
My highlight for the series would be last year at Coolum, and I won my first race. So that was a pretty special moment. I had a lot of seconds, I think I had 5 or 6 seconds or maybe more, and I was starting to wonder if I was ever going to break through for a win, but yeah, it finally came last season.
He's got the nickname Who Doherty instead of Hugh Doherty because he just seems to be around the periphery, but no one really talks about him, and they should talk a lot more about this guy, because I tell you what, in a series where you can't drop a race in 5, 2nd and 3rd and 4th position over 5 races could win you the whole series, and that could be Hugh Doherty, not Who Doherty.
I've heard that comment, who Doherty. I guess I think that's sort of come about because, you know, I've always been thereabouts, but I've never actually had a win, or, you know, and then when I did that at Coolum, broke through for my first win, and probably made people notice me a bit more, I guess, that, you know, this guy here, he's going all right, and, you know, he's had a win, he wants to have a few more. Going down to Portsea, I was leading the series, and I think when we left Portsea, I was back in about 6th spot or 5th spot or something. So that's the big thing about having a good series. You've got to be consistent through every round, and when you're not able to drop a race, you've got to make sure you finish in the top 3 or 4 in every race. So it goes a long way to helping you win overall.
Coming up, the golden names of the Ironman series with Kai, Zane, Kane, Pooley and Shannon.